Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're taking a look at something that came straight out of University Research Lab. It's called the Sustainable Shopping Assistant. And as you might guess, it's a web service
That's right.
designed to help people shop more sustainably. I think all of us have run into this problem where
Oh, absolutely.
you want to make ethical choices when you shop, but you don't really want to spend hours researching every single product. And so this is a system that's trying to make that easier. And the really cool thing is that we've got the actual project report for this.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like we're getting a sneak peek behind the scenes.
hmm
We're not just seeing the finished website, but we're actually seeing how they're building this thing.
Yeah, it's like we've got backstage passes
Yeah.
to the development process. We
Yeah.
get to see the decisions and the thought processes that are going into it.
Yeah, exactly. So, the big idea here is pretty clear, right? They want to make it easier for people to understand the environmental impact of their shopping.
Right.
But I'm already kind of curious about how they actually do that. Like, how do they make that happen? And the report actually mentions some pretty cool features. So what are some of the things that caught your eye?
Well, consider this. You're shopping online and you've got your wish list full of things that you're maybe thinking about buying. The Sustainable Shopping Assistant can actually analyze those items
Right.
and suggest alternatives that are more eco-friendly.
And that's interesting. So it's not just telling you what's bad. It's actually giving you some options so you can actually take action.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's like having a little sustainability guru whispering in your ear as you're browsing.
I like that.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And that's a really smart approach, too, because it taps into something kind of powerful. That psychology of wish lists,
Hmm.
right? They're not just a way to save items for later. They actually reflect our aspirations
Mhm.
and our desires.
Yeah.
And by offering these sustainable alternatives within that context, the service is kind of subtly encouraging us
Yeah.
to reconsider our choices,
Yeah.
which could lead to more mindful consumption.
Yeah. It's like they're gamifying sustainable shopping in a way,
Yeah.
right? You get the satisfaction of finding something you want, but you're also nudged towards making a better choice for the planet.
Exactly.
I like that. So to make all this work, though, they've got to get kind of creative on the technical side, right?
Absolutely.
And the report mentions something called an ER diagram, which you have to admit, I don't know a whole lot about ER diagrams. What is that exactly?
So think of an ER diagram like a family tree,
Hmm.
but for information, it shows you how all the different pieces of data are related within the system.
Hello?
So, for example, you, the user, are
Okay.
connected to the products you're browsing or buying,
Right.
and the ER diagram maps all of that out.
Okay, so it's basically like a map of how all the information is organized within the website's database.
Precisely.
Okay. And then they use something called SQL to actually work with that data, right? I remember seeing that in the report. And I have to admit, some of it looked a little intimidating.
Yeah, SQL can seem a little scary at first glance,
Yeah.
but it's really just a language
Mm.
that the website uses to talk to the database.
Okay.
So instead of asking these broad questions, you use SQL to write very specific queries. Think of them like search filters,
Yeah.
but way more powerful.
Okay.
So for example, a website might use a SQL query to find all the laptops under $1,000 that have an eco rating above 4 stars.
Oh, okay. So when I'm on the website and I'm searching for a specific product, the website's using these SQL queries behind the scenes
Yeah.
to pull up exactly what I'm looking for, but also factoring in things like the eco rating and maybe even my budget.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
And the way they've structured the database, remember that ER diagram we were talking about?
Yeah.
That plays a big role in how efficient and effective those searches are.
Okay.
They've used something called IS hierarchies to categorize everything. So for example, electronics would be a category.
Right.
And under that, you'd have laptops, phones, all those sorts of things.
Right. So it helps the website quickly narrow down the results based on what you're looking for.
Exactly.
Okay, that's really interesting. I'm starting to see how all these technical pieces fit together to create a seamless user experience.
All right.
But speaking of user experience, the report also talks about the website design itself. And it sounds like they put a lot of thought into that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They really did. And it shows, the design is clean,
Hmm.
intuitive,
Oh,
which is important because they're presenting some potentially complex information about sustainability.
right.
They've got this logo with a leaf and a shopping cart,
Hmm.
which I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah, I like that too. It's not too in your face,
Right.
but it definitely gets the point across.
Right.
Yeah.
And the color scheme, they use a lot of greens and earth tones,
Yeah.
which also reinforces that feeling of,
yeah.
sustainability.
It all feels very intentional. Like they really thought about how to align the design with their message.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
like they're saying, hey, sustainability can be stylish,
Yeah.
and appealing. They're not just informing people. They're trying to create an experience
Yep.
that feels good and engaging.
Right. And that's where the technical side comes back in.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, a beautiful website is great, but it's got to be backed up by a system that can actually deliver.
Precisely.
Like, it's got to work.
And that's where the SQL queries we were talking about become so important.
Right.
They're the tools that allow the website to sift through all that data in the database and present you with the information that you need, like those eco-friendly alternatives.
Okay, so let's say I'm looking for a new pair of jeans. So the website would use a query to find all the jeans in my size within my price range and then rank them based on their eco rating.
That's one way to think about it, yeah.
Yeah.
But the power of SQL is that you can get much more specific and nuanced with your queries.
Okay.
Imagine a query that finds jeans made from recycled materials, produced locally, to reduce transportation emissions, and from a company with a strong ethical track record.
Oh, wow. So it's not just about finding the least bad option. It's about finding products that are actually sustainable across multiple dimensions.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
And this is where the database design choices, like using that one big relation strategy for the user table, really pay off.
Okay.
It allows them to run these complex queries.
Yeah.
And deliver results quickly without making you wait forever for the page to load.
Right, because nobody wants to sit there for 5 minutes just to see a list of eco-friendly jeans.
Exactly.
So it all comes back to that user experience.
It always does. And what's so fascinating here is that all of this technical stuff, the database structure, the SQL queries, it's all working behind the scenes to create a seamless and enjoyable experience for the user.
Right.
You're not seeing the code, but you're benefiting from all the thought and expertise that went into it.
Yeah, it's like the foundation of a house. You might not see it, but it's what holds everything together
It's a great analogy.
and lets you enjoy living in the space.
Yeah, and just like a well-built house can last for generations, a well-designed system like this can have a lasting impact.
That's a good point. It's exciting to see a project like this that combines innovative technology with a real commitment to sustainability. Makes you wonder what other possibilities are out there. Like, what other areas of our lives could benefit from this kind of approach?
That's a great question, and one that the creators of this project are probably already thinking about.
We've been talking about shopping, but what about, like, travel? Imagine a sustainable travel assistant that could help you find eco-friendly flights and hotels, maybe even suggest destinations based on how sustainable they are.
Absolutely. Or how about a sustainable entertainment guide
Yeah.
that could highlight like movies and TV shows, even books that promote environmental awareness.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to find books and movies that align with my values, but it's hard to know where to start sometimes.
Right.
So a tool like that could be really helpful.
Exactly. It could help you make more conscious choices about how you spend your leisure time. And think about the bigger picture here. If we had these kinds of tools for all different areas of our lives, it could really start to change how people consume things.
Yeah.
It's about empowering people to make informed decisions, decisions that are in line with their values, whether it's shopping or traveling or just relaxing at home.
It's like a whole new way of thinking about consumption, being more mindful and connected to the impact of our choices.
Exactly. And the sustainable shopping assistant, even though it's just focused on shopping right now, feels like a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's like a glimpse into a future where technology can help us live more sustainably, not just by giving us information, but by actually making it easier to make those sustainable choices.
I love that. It's inspiring to see a project like this that can spark so many ideas and possibilities. It really shows how technology can be a force for good.
And it all boils down to that fundamental idea, making it easier for people to understand the impact of their choices, and then giving them the power to actually make a difference.
Oh, well.
Because at the end of the day, that's what sustainability is all about, creating a better future for everyone.
This has been a fascinating deep dive into the sustainable shopping assistant. I'm really curious to see where this project goes from here.
Me too. It's an exciting look at what's possible when we combine technology and design with a genuine commitment to sustainability.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it insightful and maybe even a little inspiring. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep making conscious choices.